Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I just want to do a chatty get ready with me, just kind of playing with makeup. There is a look that I have in my head that I want to accomplish today, but also I figured it's been a while since we've just like sat down and chatted. So go ahead, get yourself like a cup of coffee, get yourself I don't know, a beer, martini. I'm not judging you. I don't know what time it is where you are, and whatever time it is, it's martini time. I do have some new products that I'm going to be testing today, but this is not necessarily like a trying new makeup video because there's only a few, but I still just kind of felt like using them, but didn't necessarily feel like they warranted their own video by themselves. So we're just going to be playing, but basically like I had, an idea in my mind before I sat down to film, and I got out a palette and I was like, yeah, I think I can do something with this palette, blah, blah, blah. Then I was looking at my Facebook memories and I had these pictures come up from literally, I think it was 2007. So 18 years ago, holy crap. And it reminded me that there was this makeup look that I used to wear all the time. I'm going to put up pictures right here so you can see. I had a matte black lid with matte purple kind of blended with the black up, and it was not that many colors, but I used to love this look. Like I wore it every time I went out clubbing. I wore it just so often. So I want to see how it would look now on this face that is no longer in her 20s, but I really want to try it again. So I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to start, I think, with my eyes since I'm going to be using matte black eyeshadow and I don't feel like having it go everywhere. So yeah, let's get started. First of all, as a black base, because I always want to have a base when I'm doing a black lid, I use the Melt, this is the Melt Liquid Eyeshadow and Base in the color Night Swim. This has become my favorite black base to use because it's not, like I used to love using their gel liner in Onyx. And look how much I just went once on the applicator. I used to love using that, and I still do, but it's definitely a lot thicker, whereas this is thinner and can be blended out. I like to do one eye at a time. Like you guys saw how little I took, and look at that. It's not completely opaque on the lid yet because I like to start small and build up, but like that's pretty impressive from like one tap on the brush. I didn't even brush it. I literally go beep. But yeah, let me know how you guys have been. How has your winter been? I know a lot of people really are, and a lot of my friends are too. They are pure winter people. Like they love the cold, they love the snow, they love all those things. I am not that person. I prefer warm weather, and I have to admit, like right now in Baltimore, we're going through what I have always very affectionately called fake spring, meaning that we have a couple of really warm days in the middle of February, which like it should not be this warm in Baltimore right now. Like yesterday was like 65 degrees. I had my windows open. I had a t-shirt on. I was living my best life. But today it's cold again, and then tomorrow it's going to be warm again, and then the next day is cold again. It's just going to be back and forth for a bit now. But I'm like happy that it's kind of, I don't know, it feels promising to me. You know what I mean? Because it feels like warmer, longer days are on the horizon, which means I will peak out a little bit of my seasonal depression. I just really love this base. Like, and you can just kind of keep blending it out. Like I'm going to leave this, and I don't want to say harsh, but like, I don't want to blend this up too high. I'm just kind of going back and forth just to make that edge nice and soft. But I really love how movable this is as a base. And I'm actually going to even stop there. Like I don't need it to be completely opaque. You can put on another layer for sure. And I can still, like, you can still sort of see my lid through it, but like, I could almost stop there. I'm not gonna. So for the black, I think I'm gonna just use this same brush. I'm using for this whole look, I'm gonna use my Nomad New Zealand Stargazing, which I haven't used in a while, if I'm being honest. And I'm gonna dip into Dark Sky Nation, which is just a matte black. I'm going to build this up slowly. So I'm like tapping it in, tapping the excess, and I want the lid to be completely matte black, completely. So yeah, I know I mentioned this in the past few videos or whatever, but guys, like I was sick for 3 freaking weeks in February. 3 weeks I was sick, like to the point where I wasn't leaving the house. You know what I mean? Like I would go out on maybe a weekend. I would go out for breakfast or something like that. And I would have to come home and immediately go back to sleep. It was so weird. Like I got tested for all the things like I've mentioned, and it was none of them. So it's just so strange that like, I don't know what it was. It's really annoying, but I am finally feeling like completely back to normal now. Like, you know, when you're really not feeling well and you're like, will I ever be healthy again? Like, that's the point I was at. But I'm so glad to be feeling healthy again. How are you all doing though? Because from what I've talked to my friends about and everything, dude, like, I feel like so many people are getting sick right now, and not just getting sick, but getting like really sick for a long, long time. So, I mean, I hope you all are doing well, but let me know how you're feeling. I hope you're not all sick because I feel like I know so many people that are. I don't know that I've really dipped into this black eyeshadow a lot, the one from the Nomad palette, but it's a really good quality. Like, you can see it's blending out nicely. It's completely opaque, and I've only like tapped in just a few times, and I have no fallout. I somehow have no fallout from doing that. That's kind of crazy to me. It's so funny to think how often I used to do this look. Like, it's going to be very hard for me to not want to put some sort of sparkle anywhere in this. Am I going to keep it completely matte? We will see. I don't know. So I'm going to use the same brush I was just using to blend out the black. This is the Singe E08. I've been loving this brush, and I'm going into, let's call it Iraqi Mackenzie. It is just this purple here. So it's like a perfect grape purple. I am going to start small, and I'm going on the end of the brush rather than like patting it flat ways. I'm going on the end just so I can get it just there. I'm going to tap off the excess, and I'm going to slowly build this up starting right in the crease. But yeah, let me know, like, what else is new with you guys? Like, are you watching any good shows? Is there anything that I should be watching? We just started watching, and trust me, I know we are very late to this game, but we just started watching Only Murders in the Building. By the way, when I talk about shows and stuff, I'm never going to give away spoilers. I'm never going to give away spoilers. So if, you know, you don't have to worry about it if you've never watched the show about like, oh God, I got to skip ahead or anything. I'm really, really liking it so far. Like, we are right at the end. We have 2 episodes left in the first season, and I really like it. Like, the acting is good. I have to admit, it's a little weird to hear Steve Martin and Martin Short, who I've always loved them. Like, big fan of the Three Amigos movie in the 80s.
The Three Amigos!
But I've always loved them, but it's so weird to hear them cursing. I don't know why that threw me off. Like, I think Steve Martin screamed the F word in one of the episodes, and I was like, but Selena Gomez is fantastic, like really, really good. I just am really enjoying the show overall. I think it's really well written. It's really well done. I don't know. I'm excited to be watching it, and I'm excited that like we've got a lot of seasons to kind of go through. Can't tell if this is looking patchy or not. I don't think it is. I'm just going to kind of continue to move slowly and blend this as I go along. I mean, it's kind of a vibe. But yeah, we've been watching Only Murders, but we also are watching the newest season of White Lotus. I have a feeling it's just gonna ramp up so quick. I feel like they always do. Like, they go from this point where you're like, okay, I can see you're building character, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you're like, oh, everyone is really, really messed up. And I feel like that's the point we're getting at. I mean, they hinted at it already, but I feel like that's the point we're getting to. This is so weird because this is definitely, like I said, this is a look I wore so much in like my late 20s. We'll see if it turns out. I'm going to still give it like, you know, the Linda vibes of now, but yeah. But yeah, let me know what other shows you guys are watching. I keep hearing about Severance. Let me know how you feel about it without giving anything away, please, because I have not watched it. I did watch a trailer for it, and the only thing I can think is that it sort of looks like Black Mirror, which I love Black Mirror. The only thing keeping me from it right now is the fact that we don't have Apple TV. So yet again, it would be like we need to, purchase a subscription to a thing just to watch one show, which I don't love. So let me know if it's worth it. I keep hearing from people that it's like really, really amazing. And I usually don't love Adam Scott, but he's looking amazing in it. So just let me know your thoughts specifically on that show. What are we feeling about this look so far? Am I going to be able to do this with no shimmer? I don't know. And my old nemesis is like coming back to haunt me. I've talked before about how there's this area right here on my lid that I have a tiny scar, and sometimes eyeshadow doesn't want to stick there. It looks like it's doing a little bit better, but okay. Is that really 2 colors? That's what I'm doing right now? Okay, well, you know, we're going to move on to the rest of the face. I'm still going to be touching up my eyeshadow as I go along, but I want to leave that and do the rest of my face. So for my foundation, I'll be honest, you guys, I've talked about this. So this is what I have left of the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I really do like this foundation, but I don't think I'm going to repurchase this, mainly because it's kind of a medium coverage. And I keep holding on to it and going, for the days when I want a heavier coverage. But I realize that even when I'm going to like nice events or something like that, I'm just putting on my palette, even when I'm doing things like that, like I never feel the need to have like a full coverage. It's just not my vibe. It kind of never has been. So I don't know why I was thinking like, oh, I need something like this in my collection. I'm also adding a bit of the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy drops just because it's a tiny bit too light for me. But I also want to add some of the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Liquid Highlighter just to give it a little bit more of a luminosity. And I'm adding the tiniest amount because this stuff goes such a long way. So pretty though. Tell me also in the comments below, do you guys have any, woof, that's a lot I just put on. Do you guys have any trips or anything coming up? Like what are you excited about? Because I know I've kind of briefly mentioned this, but I have several trips coming up already. And I'm really, really excited about it. Oof, gosh, I've got some, guys, if you see some funky things on my skin today, I shaved my face today. I think I've mentioned it before, but I do maybe once a month. I shave my face with one of those kind of eyebrow razors, which I know people have differing opinions on if they're good or not. I have always really liked it and I like the results. But today I'll admit that I used one that I didn't realize was not brand new and it scratched my face up quite a bit. So yeah, I'm kind of paying for that, my mistake. But yeah, I do have several trips coming up. So in only a month, I can't believe how fast it's coming up. My mom and I have a trip planned to go to Savannah for the first time. I am very excited about that. We have already booked one of those, like, it's a ghost tour in a hearse. I am very excited, and my mom is not spooky in any way, shape, or form. My mom was a second grade teacher, so it'll be interesting to see her in a hearse. Probably, I don't know why. It's not going to be like this, but I'm picturing just like a bunch of like goth teenagers and my mom. Speaking of goth teenager, this color, it's looking so light on camera, but in person, it doesn't look that far off from my skin. And I put like a half pump on this palette, and there's still like some left. So this does go a long way. It is a nice foundation. It's just not, you know, what I absolutely prefer, but I do think it's nice. Oh, my chin itches, and this feels so good right now. But yeah, I feel like I've asked you guys this before, but if anybody has any recommendations for things they like to do in Savannah, especially like restaurants, please leave them in the comments down below. I already have a few things planned, like that we're trying. One of them is, crap, I can't remember the name, but it's a restaurant where you have to stand in line outside, and then it's Mrs. Something's. Oh, what is it? I wrote it down somewhere, but essentially you stand in line and then you go in and they have tables set up for 10 people and you sit with strangers and you all share some food. And it's supposed to be like a big deal. It's not Mrs. Wilkes, but it's something along those lines. I'll put it on the screen. And I am a little bit nervous about it because I am slightly antisocial. So the idea of sitting at the table with strangers makes me a little wary, but I think it could be fun. I think it could be fun. Oh, I almost didn't put on any concealer. For concealer, I'm just using my regular Sigma color correcting base. No, color correcting duo. So I just go back and forth between the two shades, and I really like the coverage this gives me. I am already, I don't know if you can tell, I've already hit pan on this, and I feel like I didn't get this one that long ago. It's just that like this is my go-to for sure. For powder, I want to try something new that was just sent to me. So What's Up Beauty just sent this. It is called their Wind Dancer Pressed Setting Powder. It says that it's featured in an Ipsy subscription box. So it does have shea butter and cocoa butter. It is talc-free, clean, non-toxic, cruelty-free, vegan, all those things. So it comes in 4 shades, light, medium, tan, and deep. I chose light. What's interesting though, I'm just going to use, by the way, my BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose N17. What's interesting to me is that they were like, hey, we'd love to send you all 4 shades. And I was like, no. I mean, it was kind of them and everything like that, but I'm like, why would I want like the shade deep? I'm not a working makeup artist. If you're a working makeup artist, it's different, but I'm not. So why would I want that? This looks nice, actually. It's not, we'll see how it sets. It's not too mattifying, which I really like. It does still let like some of my natural glow shine through. But so far, so good, actually. I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's anything I'm like screaming from the rooftops, but it does look nice. Okay, I am going into my Sigma matte bronzer. This has been like my bronzer of choice lately. The shade I use is light. So I wanted to discuss something that's like a touch more serious, and it does involve medical stuff. So, you know, you can feel free to skip ahead if this bothers you or anything like that. But I do know that some of you guys probably saw this on my Instagram stories, but in the beginning of this month, I had a mammogram. So I've been getting mammograms since I was 35. So this is literally my 10th year of getting mammograms. I'll be 45 later this year. And the reason I started getting them at 35 is because my mother did have breast cancer. She had she caught it very early, and she is now, knock on wood, she is cancer free, thank goodness. But she did have breast cancer, that she had to go in for radiation and everything. So I've been getting mammograms very early, and, they always make me a little nervous, but like for some reason this year, I went into mine and I felt fine. I felt great. I went into my mammogram. I was in a good mood, like to the point where the ladies that were at the front desk even commented. They were like, "You're the energy we need today. Oh my gosh, we love your energy. You're just so happy, blah, 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." So I get my mammogram, no big deal. And then 2 days later, I get a message from the person who did my mammogram saying, "Hey, guess what? We found some irregularities in your left breast. We found asymmetry and calcification." And I was like, "Oh crap, that sounds scary." Even scarier, in bold, big letters further down the letter, it said, "You must call within 1 to 3 days to schedule a follow-up mammogram. This is very important, cannot be more than 3 days. Do not wait." And I was like, well, that sounds like an emergency. So I panic and call, and of course, they can't get me in. Despite me calling immediately, they can't get me in for almost 3 weeks. So that gives me a full 3 weeks to panic. I don't know what I want to do for blush yet, by the way, so I'm just going to do my eyebrows real quick and finish the eyes and then move on to blush. I'm just using my Melt Perfectionist Brow Pencil, and this shade is brown. And I'm going to try I just saw somebody do this where they kept the pencil to under the brow and not really over the brow. I still do have some sparse areas I want to fill in personally, but let's try this. But yeah, like I was really, really, really nervous. But then like I sort of convinced myself. I was like, it's absolutely nothing. I looked it up. I spent some time being Dr. Linda, and I was looking on the internet, and it was like, oh, this is a very normal finding, blah, blah, blah. So I sort of convinced myself it was no big deal, right? Yeah, I can't do this. I got to go above the brow a little bit. But anyway, so my follow-up was last Friday, so about a week ago from when you're seeing this. And I had to go for a diagnostic mammogram and possibly ultrasound. So I was taken in for a different type of mammogram. And the tech was very nice and very kind, and she explained to me, she was like, "Okay, cool. So we're going to do the mammogram, and if we can still see what they saw in the first mammogram, then the doctor will come and tell you they want an ultrasound, but it could be just completely fine after this mammogram." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I get the mammogram, and then I go and I sit back in like the little waiting area in my robe, feeling very vulnerable, as you can see here. And then the tech comes around the corner and she goes, "Okay, they want you for ultrasound." And so I started panicking, basically. So then I go into this ultrasound room, and in there was a tech, and she was training another tech. So she, let me know, said, we're just doing some training or whatever. But as she's going along, what she's doing is taking the ultrasound wand. Let's say this is the ultrasound, though, it was much thicker. And she would be going around, she'd go, "Oh, and making that kind of noise, and then taking pictures on the computer, and then she'd go, twist, and she'd go, oh, and not saying anything to me, but making kind of these awful noises, and then pointing to things on the screen and telling the tech that she was training, going, "You see that? You see that?" And she went, "Oh yeah, I see that. I see that." So I'm wearing a mask the whole time, so like I wasn't making noises or anything, but I started kind of like gently crying because this is terrifying. This is a terrifying experience for me, right? And I was like, "Linda, calm down, calm down. It's not a big deal, calm down." So like I was able to kind of control it. And then they went, "Okay, great," when they were done, which took a long time, by the way, probably like 10 minutes of them doing that. When she was done, she was like, "Okay, we're going to show these to the doctor. She's going to be back in a little bit. And she's probably going to want to do a little bit more herself, but she'll talk to you." I don't know why I did this side, because it's all this boob right here, this left one. But they said she's probably going to want to talk to you. She probably will want to do a little bit of her own, ultrasound as well and everything like that. I was like, okay, cool. So then I hear a knock at the door and the doctor comes in, followed by the tech and the trainee and another trainee. There are 4 people in the room with me now. So at this point, I kind of don't care. My boob's out. It is what it is. She starts digging around and she's training pretty much the techs and the additional trainee, right? But here's the kind of thing that she's saying. She's saying, oh, okay, well, you have to drag it slowly, you know, talking to the techs. You have to drag it slowly and you want to make sure to go from the outside in, blah, blah, blah. And then she stops and goes, oh, there it is. I see it. Yep, I see it. Okay, let's take a shot of that one. We'll call that one. Guys, should we call it number 1 or letter A? I don't know. Whatever you guys want to call it. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. So I start kind of tearing up again. And she goes, okay. And oh, there's another one. And I'm like, sorry, another one? I'm going to go back and finish under my eyes. I'm just using the same brush as I used last time. But anyway, so she's like, oh, you know, there's another one, ha 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 ha. And the way she's talking is just so incredibly casual, okay? It was so casual to the point where like I was, you know, not doing well. And then she said it 2 more times. There's another one and another one. And each time she was like kind of joking about what they should call it. She's like, I don't know what we should call it. Should we call it A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, haha. And this point, like, I'm fully crying. And I'll be honest, how they didn't see me crying is beyond me. I was keeping very quiet. But actually, I would say that the reason they didn't see me crying is because they were paying 0 attention to me. They were paying attention to the screen. They were all huddled around the screen. But still, it was like 0 attention being paid to me. Hold on, I got to line my water line. So anyway, yeah, she's going back and forth with, oh, there's another one and another one and another one. And I was just getting very, very upset. And then literally she stops and it's the end. And she goes, okay, good. You're good to go. We'll see you back in a year for another mammogram. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? Wait a minute. I just listened to you say there's another one and another one. She goes, oh yeah, they're cysts. Your boob is full of, your breast is full of cysts, but they're all full of liquid. You're good. And I'm like, is full of liquid a good thing, a bad thing? Like, you know, explain this to me. Like, I've never had one of those before. And she was like, oh yeah, being, you know, liquid is good. You don't want it to be solid, obviously. She's like, liquid is fine. You know, you just keep an eye on them, but come back in a year for a mammogram. And at that point, I lost it and started crying. That point, it was from relief. And she goes, what's going on here? Are you okay? And I was like, if you look at the screen behind you, you will see that my mother had breast cancer. Okay. So this is a nerve-wracking experience for me. And you're just sitting here saying, oh, there's another one and another one without telling me what another one is. I'm thinking tumors in my head and everything like that. And she goes, oh, no, you're fine. Oh, sweetie. Like that was the first time that she considered I was a human being. So look, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I am fine. That is obviously to me what matters most right now. But like, I do feel like it was handled kind of poorly and I needed a few days to process, but I do think that I'm going to submit feedback to them to let them know like, hey, that's not necessarily okay. You know, that is not necessarily okay how this was handled. And I don't feel like there was much bedside manner. You know what I mean? I know I just said this, but at the end of the day, everything is fine. My boobs are fine. I feel like I was getting myself ready to like say goodbye to my boobs. Like that's how dramatic I was getting. But everything is fine. You know, and when they said come back in a year, I'm like, I always get this done. So that's not an issue. But still, it was just scary. And I feel like it was handled kind of poopy. But now that it's over, I'm feeling much more light. I am feeling much better. So yeah, but that like on top of being sick for 3 weeks, just like drained me. You know what I mean? This month has been a lot. Okay, so I am using the Melt So High mascara. This is like the curling mascara and it's not super thickening. It is lengthening and curling, which I like. It actually is not. I don't know if it's curling so much as it holds a curl. But I do want to try some fake lashes today because Melt was kind enough to send me over a package. I'm so glad. They sent me, by the way, like a backup of this and the Supernatural too. But this is something I've always wanted to try. These are their Luna lashes. Let me take off the plastic so you can see. But as you can see, these are little clusters of lashes and we have short, medium, and long. I've never tried lash clusters, so I feel like why not? I want to just put like some on the very outer edge. I think I'll try just the mediums. I'm not going to do too many. Like I might only do one little tiny area per eye. So I'm just going to, on my palette, I'm putting some of my Duo lash adhesive just on here. I'm gonna let this get tacky for a sec, but I'm also using, I don't know what brand these are, but little eyelash grabber thingies. I think that's the official term. Okay, I dipped this in the glue and I'm just gonna kind of, I don't know if I should wait for this to get a little tackier, but I'm gonna put this, oh, nope, that didn't work. I'm not gonna use those. I'm just gonna use my fingers like I usually do. And I'm gonna pop this right on this outer edge and see if that makes any difference. Maybe I should have done this on a day when I wasn't doing an all black look. Oh, I can see it. It definitely, oh, I like that. Oh no, am I gonna be addicted to these? That was so easy to put on. Ooh, okay, I like that. Let me grab another medium and I'm gonna put this on the other side. That's kind of cute. It's adding like the tiniest little flare at the edge. I probably would have a better result if I put like a bunch of clusters, but I kind of only want the one right now. That's fun. It's kind of crazy though. Like, do you see, like, look how long that one is. So yeah, I like it though. It just adds like a little something something and I don't even feel it. Ooh, yay. For blush, I'm kind of feeling like a matte blush. So I'm gonna try this one. This is Berry Love from Sigma. And look at me, like using a powder blush and everything. And I'm just gonna build this up slowly. So funny because back in the day, like when I wore this look originally, I never wore blush ever. I've talked about that before, how like I used to never wear blush. I went a little ham. So I'm actually gonna take this and matte that down just a little bit. But yeah, I never ever wore blush. So even just doing this is kind of crazy to me. But oh, I think that looks cute. It's just a touch now. I think it looks nice. I didn't want like a ton of blush, so yeah, I'm happy with that. For highlighter, I'm going to use this Surratt one. I always use the one that's in the color Lame, but this one is Frou Frou, which means it has like a little bit of a pinky purple tone to it. So I want to see, I feel like with this look, yeah, I think that looks really pretty. I still really like these highlighters. I feel like they just add a really pretty glow to the face without being too intense for days like, you know, I like having my eye makeup to be intense and, you know, my highlighter maybe a little bit less. So that just looks, I think it just looks really nice. Ooh, last but certainly not least. Okay, wow, I feel like I ended that on a downer. I'm like, there's nothing more of a downer than like cancer. But anyway, like in general, I don't know. I'm starting to feel myself like just feel better. I think the weight of like waiting for that appointment really, and on top of being sick, is what made my February what it was, or what I let it be, if you will. And I'm just starting to feel better. Like I have that trip to look forward to in Savannah. I've got another trip. I am going on another creators and friends trip very soon. And I'm so excited to see so many of my friends. There are so many people that go on these trips that I genuinely consider friends, but it's like we live across the country. We don't get to see each other often. Like I might talk to them every single day. There are some people that are going on this trip that I literally talk to every day. But like I see them only maybe like a few times a year. So I'm very excited. But to finish off this look, guys, I have talked so many times on my channel, I was going to say recently, but just in general, about how I want to try some new lip liners. And I'm always asking for recommendations. And then yesterday in the mail, Kokie sent me all 12 of their lip liners. These are retractable lip liners. I haven't tried them yet. I am excited and like almost a little bit nervous because I want this to be so good. I want them to be good because they are $7 freaking each. So if these feel good, I am going to be very happy. I'm trying to figure out what kind of look I want to do. I know I want to stick more towards like a nude. So why don't I get like the nude pinky browns? I'm kind of leaning towards this like pinky, more pinky one. Let's try it. This one's called Pink Mauve. Is that what I want? Or do I want this, which is called Dusty Rose? No, I think this Pink Mauve. Let's try it. So I'm taking the lip balm off my lips and I'm just going to, you know, line my lips and also fill them in. Is this coming out too light? This might be, you know what, this one's a little lighter than I want it to be. I'm going to go back to trying Dusty Rose. Also, I just recently saw this on a Robert Welch video where he was talking about a tip is to look down into a mirror when you are, my mirror's right here, when you're applying lip liner because it makes it more even. Game changer. My lips are very uneven in that they are full and round on this side and kind of flat and down on this side. It has made them being even like so much easier for me. Look at that. Even. Guys, these are very creamy. This is very creamy. These feel so nice. Ooh, they feel so nice. Before I put a lip gloss on that, I'm just taking what's left on this blush brush. This is what I do every time. And I'm always like, you know, I have too much blush on and then there's not enough. But I'm going to be putting on top of that. This is the Sophia and Mabel Jellyfish Tinted Lip Oil. This is like a pink with kind of a gold shift. I want to see how this will look. And there we have it. There is the finished look, you guys. Like, this look feels like me instantly. I love it. And I used 2 eyeshadows. I used 2 eyeshadows and I love this look so much. Like, I used to wear this all the time and I instantly feel so good. Like, it feels so badass, but it was so easy to do. Like, I don't know. So what new products did I use? So the powder is not creasing. Well, it's creasing a tiny bit under my eyes. I can't tell if that's creasing or if I just didn't pounce it in enough, but it feels nice and I feel like it looks nice on the face. So I'm going to continue to try it. This isn't the type of product where I'm instantly going to be like, this is amazing or this is not amazing. I did instantly like the new e.l.f. powder that I tried though. I will say that. What else was new that I tried? So the lashes, I really like them. I really, really, really like them much more than I like putting on strip lashes. These were so easy to use. And I just really like them and they're staying on. And I feel like they add, like, again, on this side, you see how that extension, I feel like it looks so cute. The lip liner, this was really, really, really creamy. It felt very nice and my lips are very dry, so I prefer a creamy lip liner. But it still felt like waxy enough, and I say waxy in a good way, that it's not going to go everywhere. So I'm excited to try these. And again, these are $7 each. This was really nice. I'm so happy they sent that to me. Did I try anything else new? I think everything else, no, everything else was old hat. But you guys, it felt so good to just sit and talk with all of you and just chill and put on makeup. And it's not all new makeup. It's just having fun. And I love this look. Like, I'm going to the club on Saturday and I am likely wearing this look because I love it so much. And I feel like me. I feel like me. So thank you so much for watching and being here. If you like this video, please take a second, give it a thumbs up. The button is really easy to find and it helps out my channel so much. You all can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Those are both Glitter Fallout. And as always, always and forever, you guys are super freaking rock stars. I love you so much with my whole heart. Holy crap, I am so happy to be back and I will see you in the next video. Bye.